What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and something that Mark needs to do ASAP. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure you hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up slightly, 0.23%, 1910 the low, 1985 the high, but extremely low volume. So 2.2 million shares being traded, 10.5 is the average. Of that volume though, most of it is coming from algorithmic trading. So you can see from the flow right here, the S column, very high. So algos are just piggybacking off of the broader market's optimism and really pushing Lucid higher. Aside from that though, even looking at the secondary market, you're not really seeing that much in transactions so far, four, all of which are sells, one for 1.3 million, so not all that great. Even looking on the dark pool, this is absolute crickets. So this is often enough used by hedge funds as well as shorts, and even shorts that are not really doing that much today. At the time of doing this video, shorts are returning about 500,000. So it went from on Friday 38.94 million to 38.4. So again, shorts are returning about 500,000 shares at the time of doing this video. So essentially that is giving a nice push higher for Lucid, because of course shorts returning adds buying pressure, but shorts returning of the 2.2 million, 500,000, they're making up a good chunk of the overall volume. So it is rather unfortunate, but then again, there hasn't really been that much in news and updates from Lucid. So no SEC filings, no press releases or anything along those lines for today. Only thing I wanted to bring up was posted by Sean, and it looks as though over the weekend, Lucid has been keeping up with their NFL marketing. So good stuff. Hopefully we'll see, I guess, in Q4, since Q3 is pretty much concluded, a nice push higher in Gravity sales. And then that goes to show that Timothy's doing his job correctly, right? Because his whole role in Lucid as being a global brand ambassador is to boost Gravity sales. So hopefully it does pay off, and so we see more sales. Aside from all that though, one thing that I wanted to kind of mention that Mark could do to really help the stock price is buy some stock. I know it sounds dumb, but I've brought this up in the past, kind of frustrated when I look at this, but these are all the insider transactions. Anything with a red is a sell, anything with a transaction code F is selling for tax purposes, anything with an S is a straight up sell, so not for tax purposes, it's just whatever. But even all these green, it is all transaction code A, meaning they were awarded. So insiders do not buy any stock, with the exception of the PIF. They seem to be the only insider actually putting their money where their mouth is and buying. So Peter has not bought one share ever of Lucid. Mark has never bought one share of Lucid. And so of course, I don't know if some of you have been paying attention, but Tesla right now is up 5.92% because of Elon buying about 2.5, I think it was, or 2.6-ish million shares. So almost $1 billion. So this is a massive FU to the bears. And in the past, I've seen a lot of other CEOs, such as even SoFi's CEO, Anthony Noto, buying a lot of stock. And of course, every single time he's done that causes the stock price to go up like 3%, 3 to 4%, because it goes to show, hey, the CEO is buying, they see value in it. When I see this right here, I see that management is just along for the ride. They don't care about the stock performance. They don't care about operations. They've already received their shares. They can care less about what happens. That's how my opinion of Lucid is. It might be incorrect, but honestly, it is what it is, right? Like if you see a CEO buying, you know, hey, they're actually putting like a stake. They're investing their own money in whatever. And so, yeah, I think as it stands, a couple of things need to be done ASAP. One, they need to solidify who the actual CEO is. And is it going to be Mark? Like, I get it. They had the CFO kind of in limbo for like a year and a half. CFO versus CEO, completely different. You cannot have a interim CEO for 9-ish months or whatever it has been so far. You need to solidify that. And then over and above that, you need to have someone that has full commitment. And I know some people don't really like Opendoor, and I've kind of brought it up in, I think, a week ago, comparing Opendoor to Lucid, but their recent CEO pay package is something that needs to be duplicated with Lucid, whoever the new CEO is going to be. The new CEO pay package for Opendoor, they receive $1. And then, of course, in order for them to get all the stock-based compensation, they need to be over certain dollar value milestones for the stock price. So I think it's like $26 to $33 in their case. That needs to be done with Lucid. Like, the CEO should not be paid unless Lucid is at a bare minimum above $30 post reverse stock split, of course. So I think in general, yes, I absolutely love their vehicles. This is why I still continue to cover it. But the reason why I'm not, and most likely a lot of other individuals are not, just FOMOing into Lucid is because the management is very, very poor and they show absolutely no commitment. So this is my little bit of a pet peeve, and you can thank Elon for this lecture and whatever else, because yeah, this is honestly like very good. This, even though Tesla's at pretty much on a crazy run, I was close to actually even buying more Tesla because of this, because it shows commitment. Like, CEO or any other insider putting their money where their mouth is huge. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. Do you think I'm kind of off base a little bit, or do you think that is something that we as investors should expect from Lucid's management? Aside from that, looking at the options, 716,000 in calls, 179,000 in puts, 60% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. From the bull standpoint, there's a consensus for it to be above 20, and that seems to be pretty much it. So I think the new weekly chains aren't, like, the popularity with Lucid has really diminished. So we're not seeing that crazy of volume anymore. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 1850. So we are kind of level ground a little bit more upside though anticipated, but with it at 1932, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. So this 1948 did fail to hold. So best case scenario, you want to watch for it to close above that. Then that way it'll have a nice push higher. So 1948, just watch for that. 1827 is going to be the next strong support. So I'm looking at the 1-day chart as well. So this is very strong support and resistance points. So it's not as though that 1827 will come today, but that would be the next support level. There hasn't been all that much in analyst ratings, so 7 days ago and whatever else. So hopefully Lucid has some more stuff up their sleeve to really prompt some actual buying from institutions and maybe some new positive ratings. Aside from all that though, on the actual chart, it's still above the 10-day moving average. So the momentum in theory is still there, but clearly, as you can see from the market position, there's a lot more willing sellers. So I think just might consolidate a little bit further. Algos, luckily enough, have been really keeping Lucid higher today, but it looks as though that things are starting to kind of get dragged down a little bit. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Are you buying? Are you selling? Even based on articles, there's not really that much coming out. A lot of just regurgitation of previous kind of results. Even the most recent fireside chat that did occur last Friday, like, not really much articles were really brought up or even talked about that fireside chat. So let me know your general thoughts on Lucid. Are you buying? Are you selling? Like I mentioned, I did buy a little bit because I did sell a $20 put that expired last Friday. So I did get some additional shares. And I think the next time potentially I might buy will be around that $16 to $17 range, hypothetically, but I would not just hold it forever. I'd be doing some covered calls on that, so doing that kind of option wheel. So if you guys are interested in some of my transactions, pop over to my Patreon, or if you're just generally looking for some kind of day trades, swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. But with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.